When a woman realizes she's lost you, something inside her shifts, and not in the way most men think. See, she won't always show it right away. You might even think she doesn't care, but trust me, when a woman truly feels that she's lost a man who once loved her, respected her, and made her feel chosen, that hits her differently. It's not just about losing attention. It's about losing emotional power. And when that power is gone, her behavior changes in ways that are confusing if you don't understand what's really going on underneath. This is where most men get caught off guard. You think she's moved on because she's acting distant, posting like she's living her best life or pretending she's fine. But what you don't see is that those reactions are emotional armor. A woman who feels she's lost you goes through a quiet panic first. She may not cry in front of you. She might even double down on acting like she's happy. But it's all part of trying to protect her ego from the reality that she no longer has a hold on you. What you need to understand is that women measure emotional security differently than men do. A woman's sense of control in a relationship often comes from how deeply she feels she affects you. So when that's gone, when you no longer respond, when you stop chasing, when your energy shifts, she feels it immediately. That's when her behavior becomes unpredictable, reactive, or even desperate in subtle ways. I end this video. I'm going to walk you through how a woman actually acts when she knows she's lost you. I'll break down the real emotional process she goes through, what she shows, what she hides, and what she secretly feels when she realizes you're slipping away for good. Because once you understand this, you will never misread a woman's silence, distance, or sudden change again. 1. She acts cold to hide the chaos inside. When a woman knows she's lost you, her first reaction is rarely calm acceptance. It's chaos, but not the kind you will see. On the surface, she'll act cold, distant, maybe even indifferent. She'll talk to you with a straight face, say things like, "I'm fine," or "I've moved on," and her energy will suddenly feel colder than ice. But underneath that surface, she's fighting a storm of emotions. She doesn't want anyone, especially you, to see. Women hate the feeling of emotional exposure. Losing a man who once cared deeply, who once gave her that sense of importance, makes her feel powerless. So instead of showing sadness, she flips it. She shuts down. Acting cold becomes her defense mechanism. It's how she protects her pride while she tries to process the fact that she no longer has the same influence over you. And here's what most men misunderstand. That coldness doesn't mean she's moved on. It means she's hurting, but she can't allow herself to show that hurt because, in her mind, that would confirm she lost the game. So she'll act like she's detached, like she doesn't care what you do or who you're with. You might even see her talking to new guys or being overly active on social media. But that's all surface-level distraction. When a woman is truly over you, her emotions flatten out. She stops reacting altogether. But when she's cold, sharp, and defensive, it's not indifference. It's pain disguised as control. She wants to appear unaffected because deep down, she knows you noticing her pain would give you the upper hand again. If you've ever seen a woman who suddenly turns emotionally distant after a breakup, remember, she's not as in control as she seems. That coldness is her armor. She's trying to convince herself she's fine while every part of her is screaming inside. Why does this hurt so much? The silence, the short replies, the forced confidence. That's her emotional wall. And the colder she acts, the more you can be sure she's still deeply affected by the fact that she's lost you. 2, she tries to make you jealous, but it's really a cry for validation when a woman feels she's lost you. One of her most common instincts is to try to trigger your attention, and jealousy is her favorite tool. It's not about cruelty, it's about reassurance. Deep down, she's thinking, if I can still make him react, then I still matter. That's why you'll suddenly see her dressing differently, posting things she never used to post, or surrounding herself with male attention she doesn't even care about. Most men see this and think she's trying to replace me. But that's not what's happening emotionally. She's not trying to replace you. She's trying to prove to herself that she can. There's a big difference. Her ego needs to feel that she still has options, that she still has power, that she's not the one who lost. Because when a woman feels replaced or forgotten, It bruises her pride in a way that cuts deep. That's why she'll use subtle tactics. Maybe a few flirty photos online, maybe mentioning another man just enough to see if it gets a reaction. She doesn't need you to confess jealousy out loud. She's just watching for the slightest change in your tone, your attention, your energy. The moment she senses you still care, she feels safe again, even if just for a second. But when you don't respond, when your energy doesn't change, that's when the game backfires on her. Because silence to a woman who's seeking validation feels unbearable. It confirms the thing she's afraid of most, that she no longer has control over how you feel. And that realization stings more than rejection itself. So when you see her trying to make you jealous, don't feed into it. Recognize it for what it is, not confidence but confusion. She's trying to soothe her in security, to test if she still has space in your world. And ironically, the more she tries to make you react, the more obvious it becomes that she's not over you. She's just desperate to feel like she still matters. 3. Her confidence suddenly feels forced when a woman knows she's lost you. One of the first things to fade is her natural sense of confidence. But instead of letting that show, she often goes into overcompensation mode. She starts performing confidence. On the outside, she might look strong, independent, unbothered. She might say things like, "I'm focusing on myself," or "I'm happier now." But deep down, her energy gives her away. There's a difference between a woman who's genuinely confident and one who's trying to convince herself that she is dot. You'll notice it in her tone, her timing, her need for an audience. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't need validation. But when a woman is faking it after losing you, she wants to be seen. She needs you and others to notice how fine she is. That's why she posts more selfies, suddenly becomes busy all the time, or throws herself into social events. It's not because she's fully healed. It's because she's trying to silence the part of her that feels small and rejected. When she had you, she didn't realize how much her sense of worth was tied to your attention. But once you pulled away, once you stopped responding or chasing, she felt that emotional drop. That's when she starts trying to rebuild her self-image through external validation. But the thing is, validation doesn't fill emotional emptiness. It only hides it temporarily, and this is something a lot of men don't see. You think she's thriving when in reality she's fighting to keep herself together. She's smiling, but the glow is forced. She's active, but she's restless. Every little thing she does is meant to prove that she's still in control. But the Ruth is she's not. She's playing a role she doesn't fully believe in yet. The truth is, when a woman loses a man she respected, the loss hits her sense of femininity, not in the way that makes her weak, but in a way that shakes her emotional rhythm. She's used to feeling desired, wanted, seen. Losing that, losing you, feels like losing a mirror that once reflected her best self. So she starts trying to rebuild that image from the outside in. 4, she starts remembering the version of you she took for granted. When a woman realizes she's lost you, her memory becomes selective. Suddenly the arguments fade, the flaws blur, and what stands out are the good moments, the way you used to look at her, the sound of your voice when you cared, the calm she used to feel when you were around. This is when nostalgia starts to hit her hard. And it's not because she suddenly discovered your worth. It's because the emotional comfort she once had with you is gone, and her mind is trying to recreate it. Women replay emotional experiences differently than men do. When she feels that loss, her brain doesn't focus on logic. It focuses on feelings. So even if she was the one who left, even if she swore she was done, she'll start remembering the parts of you that made her feel safe, loved, and desired. The moments she once overlooked suddenly feel rare, and that realization hits her at quiet times. Maybe when she's alone, scrolling through old photos, or hearing a song that reminds her of you. This is the stage where a woman begins to soften internally, but she won't admit it. Her pride won't let her. Instead, she might bring up your name casually to mutual friends, or she might react to something you post online just to test the emotional temperature. She's trying to figure out if the door is still open, not necessarily because she's ready to walk through it, but because she wants to KN. How she could if she wanted to. That's her way of feeling like she still has emotional access to you. What's interesting is that this remembering phase doesn't come from love alone. It often